It's about 7:30 on a winter's day in December, and quite the opposite of what it normally does. A feeling of dread has got me up in the morning to, well, I'll tell you what, let's enjoy the sunrise together, yeah? So that was then, and this is now. This is a moment as well. This is a moment where I discover that last year's Christmas jumper is still a bit too small for me. This is a moment.
This is a question mark.
This is where I walk through town and people look at me in various different ways because I'm wearing a Christmas jumper. This is the moment where I get my hair cut. This is a moment where I walk back from the Christmas party clearly half cut. Get it cut, the last shot was, no, you're crying. This is the moment where I'm doing the washing up because I'm an adult, even though I've just been to a Christmas party and I'm slightly half cut, and that's life. I'm also listening to Acid House, which, I mean, that's ultimately the destiny of all of our generation, right? That will be in old people's homes one day listening to Acid House, because that's what we like. Bastard. It's really late at night, and now I'm watching videos on YouTube, probably Stuart Lee. This is the moment I do that. This is a moment just a few times later, a few days later. Anyway, so now that we've exploded what a vlog, I think the vlog bit's done now, isn't it? Got caught in a feedback loop for a bit. What we should do, however, is do the next bit of the vlog, which is always a review of our book, which, as you can see, is Charles Darwin's On Natural Selection. So what have I got to say about this book? Well, first of all, it's not an easy read. Of course it isn't an easy read. It's written in a dialect of the Victorians, so some of the language is a little bit difficult. But then I have something to say about that, and I think it's Christmas right now, and in the new year, as happens every new year in January, about a bajillion people are going to go and join the gym, and then almost all of them will fail within the first month to actually do any work towards their health. However, it should be noted that in this culture, we do have a gym culture, and we do have people who run very regularly, and we do have people who look after their bodies, and that's really good. We have endless programs on television about our health because there's another reason for that. That reason being that we are afraid of death, primarily in this culture, but that's something different. What I'm trying to say is that we have a culture for improving our bodies. Maybe we should have a culture for improving our minds, because this is actually, in a sense, a mind gym. Here's the thing, it's a key text of the last 200 years. It's a super important book. It encapsulates a lot of what we would consider Enlightenment views, which is what Western society is built on. It's about debate, it's about rigor, it's about thought. So if you have any kind of interest in a good argument, in understanding the world, then you should probably go back and read books like this, because they will exercise your mind. Now, of course, you can just continue reading airport thrillers, or if you have a particularly stressful job, maybe you're a solicitor of some description, or I don't know, someone who has to use their mind and read a lot during the day, then maybe you don't want to read that. In which case you're probably not watching this vlog, so I don't even know why I'm saying that. But my main point is that a lot of the time when I say that I'm reading something like On Natural Selection, or I don't know, Rousseau or something like that, the type of reaction that I get is often one of, why are you doing that? Well, why I'm doing that is because I want my mind to be sharp, and I want it to be strong, and I want to be able to understand the world. And to have a solid understanding of the world involves reading the key texts of our civilization, the culture that forms us, the one that allows us to have free expression and to have doctors and nurses and plumbing and things like that. There are some things which I think we should all do. We should probably all volunteer and help those weak, the vulnerable in society. We should all pay our taxes. We should all endeavour to be good to one another. We should all be taught how to think in a rigorous way from childhood, and that does involve the teaching of, say, philosophy from an early age. And finally, as part of your ongoing membership of society, you should probably read books like this and just train your mind a little bit, go into the mind gym. I don't know. Am I talking crap? I don't think so. Maybe in many ways this vlog represents a bit of a watershed, in the sense that I am now going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do it in the way that I want to do it, as opposed to the way that I think will appeal to an audience. So it's all in flux from here on in. But if you're up for the journey, the aim is that eventually I'll come up with something which actually is quite good, and that both I can be pleased with and maybe you'll be pleased with too. Shall we give the final line to Darwin? Shall we do that? Let's give him the line from the front page, actually, which is, "From so simple a beginning, endless forms, most beautiful and most wonderful, have been and are being evolved." If I don't see you before, have a good Christmas.